Hello, welcome to episode number 411 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for week 2 of September 2023 as we continue the road to Unforgiven on the Raw side, which is in 12 days' time. It's Saturday, week 3, yeah. And tonight we have the first run of the new Raw Tag Team Champions, Imperium's Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser, who won them in the main event last week. We also have a tag team match between DIY and New Day. We have Chad Gable taking on Dominic Mysterio. And the main event to determine who will fight Sasha Banks for the title at Unforgiven between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into tonight's show. We kick off with Drew. Drew comes out and he says, last week, I made it clear, about my loyalty here in this company when I stopped those scumbags AJ Styles and Finn Balor from keeping a hold of those tag team championships. Now I know what you're thinking, Drew. Why would you help Imperium? You go way back with Gunther. You don't like Gunther, you don't like Imperium, but this wasn't about helping Imperium. It was about sticking it to the men who need sticking to. Those men being Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor. Now, in terms of my WWE Championship, Cody made it clear he wants a rematch for this. And I'm willing to give Cody a rematch whenever he wants. Because I'm not scared of him. I was only delaying the inevitable because I didn't want to end his story once and for all. But once he fails to recapture this title, then his story is finished once and for all at the hands of Drew McIntyre. Instead of Cody coming out, he's interrupted by AJ and Finn, who of course aren't happy and they want to fight Drew as well. And because, I don't see any Raw Tag Team Championships around mine and Finn's waist now, and that's not because of, Imperium. That's because of you, Drew McIntyre. And who's to say, if you can cost us our championships, I say, why don't you put yours on the line against us and we can cost you yours? And Drew goes, whoa, enough, buddy, I'm a fighting champion. I'm here all day, but, you lost last week. You don't really deserve a championship opportunity against me. Neither of you do. Cody comes out. He starts a fight. And then I imagine all of the men they start 4-man brawl. Batista comes out. He says, well, I know the easy way to settle this. It's going to be at Unforgiven. Drew McIntyre defending his championship against AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Cody Rhodes in a fatal 4-way match. So there we have it. The main event of Unforgiven is officially set. Drew McIntyre defends against Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles. And now all of a sudden, the non-kayfabe reason for AJ and Finn losing their belts has suddenly become clear, They're in the WWE Championship match at Unforgiven. We then cut backstage. Becky's with Rick Boogs. And she goes, right, okay. I'm not even going to bother asking. Because, you're going to lick Dave's ass no matter what I say and what I do. So, let me guess. I'm on heat tonight. And Boogs is like, yes, you are, Becky. You see, big win against B-Fab last week. Dave was impressed. He liked what he saw, short order against B-Fab. But, it's going to take more than that for you to, prove your worth here in WWE again. So, back at the same again on Heat. It's going to be the B block match of the Mae Young Classic, as well as yours, Becky. We are making time for you on Heat, so don't say we don't ever do anything for you. She goes, yeah, I'm so grateful. 72, that's pretty good. Drew Gulak and Young Sensei for the Cruiserweight Championship. Sensei does pick up the win, defeating Drew Gulak in 12:07 with the Gomu Gomu no Boomerang to make defense number 1 of the Cruiserweight title. 75 for Drew Gulak, 35 for Young Sensei. That's the first time I've ever seen this note. Drew Gulak made Young Sensei look particularly strong. Go on, Drew Gulak. That's why you're a good hand to have around. You will shine up. Does that give the match a boost? Yeah, Young Sensei got a bonus. Okay, yeah, good, excellent, fantastic. Good work, Gulak. Maybe you can get another run soon because of that. You did a good job getting the more important people over. But yeah, Sensei does retain the Cruiserweight Championship in the opening match here tonight. Drew Gulak can't use his superior skills to make young Sensei look particularly strong. Thank you again, Gulak, for that. After the match, the entire anime crew, including Reggie, who's there this time, they lift Sensei up. Imagine Sensei's on the shoulders of Dio and Manny. When on the screen, you see the pendant. Like, it goes all dark and the pendant shines on the screen. And we hear a voice, like, disguised voice coming to pick the pendant up. Obviously he got his face covered and he goes, well, it seems finally the power is back in our control. You people need to learn to watch your back because not everyone is who they seem. And then that leads, of course, Manny. We come back to the screen and Manny's getting on and goes, it's you son of a bitch, it's you. He shoves Reggie to the floor and Reggie goes, well, I've just got here, but why would I risk that? Because you're not who you say you are, Reggie, okay? Why would that person say that, but not everyone hears who they say they are if it wasn't you? Because everything was fine until you showed up. And Dio goes, relax. I think they're just trying to get in our head, okay? You can't just accuse Reggie of being a worm without any evidence, Reggie's done good by us since SummerSlam, so, we should give him the benefit of the doubt. Why should we trust this person's word over his? Manny goes, you're right, Dio, you're right. I don't know what came over me. But you're on thin ice, boy. You're on thin ice. But yes, the pendant has been spotted. Some sort of other dark figure has claimed the pendant for themselves. We then cut backstage. What a group of individuals I'm looking at on my screen right here. We see Otis and Brooks Jensen chilling backstage. When Pretty Deadly and Maxine... Oh, sorry. Who the fuck is this Maxine woman I keep talking about? Tonya Breeze walk up. And Tonya goes, Otis, there you are. I've been looking for you all day. What are you still hanging around with this loser for? Okay. Anyway, I've got a fantastic opportunity for you. Here are the Maximum Male models, and we would love for you to, listen to it. And he goes, okay, what is it? And I also just already look at Brooks, and Tonya goes, alone, me, us, and you. And then Otis walks off. And Brooks like, whoa, what'd you get off with her for, What happened to bros before hoes? And then Otis just looks at Brooks and goes, what did happen to it? Because, of course, Brooks walked off with Mackie last week, so, some tension here. And Mackie then walks up to Brooks and goes, where's your friend going? And he goes, I don't know. Then we hear Bailey's obnoxious laugh off from the side. He goes, what are you crying for, dummy? Okay, I'll tell you exactly where Otis is going. Okay, Otis sees the bigger picture over there. He knows being stuck around with you, walking around looking like this. J-Flow shirt, stupid hat. Like, you're a big idiot, Obviously, he doesn't want to be seen with you in public. And I can imagine a lot of people would. Then Mackie just gets in Bailey face and goes, shut up! Okay, he's our super fan. Bailey goes, oh, you're a super fan. That's cute. That's adorable. How about he be a super fan of the beating I lay on you tonight? Mackie goes, I'll see you out there, bitch. So yeah, that sets up. Just a quick setup for Bailey and Mackie later on tonight. Should be fun. Oh! 74. I've done this match semi-recently. Because I remember going, look at how far these teams have come. But 74 for this is, who boy. It's Tatum and Ivy against Skylar and Aaliyah. Tatum and Ivy pick up the win again. Pax Plex pins Aaliyah in 9:27. 70 for Pax, 66 for Ivy, 77 for Skylar, 67 for Aaliyah. And then after the match, they grab the mics and they say, Alexa and Nikki are hiding behind this Joe Gacy because they haven't got the face, the heart and the determination and the brains to fight us face to face. That's why they've had to choose cheap shots to even take those championships. And if they want to defend their titles at Unforgiven against 3 tag teams, you're looking at Raw's top women's tag team here, girls. And then Gacy pops up on the Tron and he goes, oh, you never seem to learn, do you? Tatum, Ivy, if you really want to once again be embarrassed and fall victim to Alexa and Nikki, Be my guests. Be one of the many challenges that come for these championships at Unforgiven. But it will be your worst decision of your young careers. Well, second worst decision behind betraying the great Alexa Bliss back when she had power. Power that she will once again soon reclaim. The House of Black, Chapter 3. We recently left off with Alistair in his moody teenage years, and that's when he met Brody King, and they sort of became edgy together. We then see Chapter 3, which is, like a couple of years ago, before they both came to WWE. They were trying to break into this business. They were doing it the normal way. They were trying to rise and grind on the indies. But nobody was taking notice of them. They were just two white boys amongst a sea of many, many other white boys trying to make it to the top. And that's when they had to make a difference. That's when they tattooed themselves up. That's when they got this dark, evil face paint and makeup and all this. And they took that, they embraced their dark side. And that dark side is what, inevitably led to fate dragging Aleister Black to WWE. And after many years of him causing havoc amongst the WWE main roster, soon too came Big Brody King. And they had some roadblocks on their way. They had a house for a while. But a whole group of people is nothing compared to them as a duo. So tune into next week, the final chapter. The future of Black. 84. That's fine. Yeah, sure. I expected maybe a little bit better, but okay, it's fine. I'm not going to complain too much. Dirty Dom cheats to beat Chad Gable in 15:25. I imagine Jorge Santana is out there, and he's the one who costs Gable the match. Smacks him with that sock full of, quarters or whatever. And then Dirty Dom can roll him up and pin him to score a win over Chad Gable. 93 for Gable, 79 for Dirty Dom. And then after the match, Jorge Santana climbed into the ring and him and Dom beat up Chad Gable. When Big Shame, the Intercontinental Champion, storms out, he goes to deliver a bro kick to Dominic, but he ducks underneath it and then scurries out of the ring alongside Santana. And Sheamus helps Gable to his feet. Finally, after many, many months of these two, being basically arch rivals of that IC title, they appear to have now found each other's respect. And Sheamus comes to the aid of Gable here tonight. We then see a pre-tape video of we're at a front door, and then Zelina Vega opens the door. She's wearing her gamer headset. She's wearing that sort of clothing, and she's just her chilling at home. She goes, last week when Bailey beat me, I really had to sit here and evaluate myself and evaluate my life and what I had to do next. So I'm taking some time to just be me, being Zelina Vega all the time, LWO hero, amongst the other things I've been. It can take a lot out of you. I like to just sit back, and be me. It's I'm done trying to be someone that, that people want me to be. I'm just going to be myself, game loving, anime watching, nerd. And if I can't get to the top being me, then I'd rather not be to the top. So you're looking at the new era of Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega with nothing to lose. Who's just here to, spread the message to the world that you can make it being yourself. She's even got a new picture to go with it. I had to make myself. We then cut from that to the ring where local talent Romeo Nightingale is in the ring with Kevin Patrick. And Kevin goes, my guest at this time is a young man ready for action here on Monday Night Raw for the first time, Romeo Nightingale. He goes, Romeo, you know, how are you feeling ahead of your big WWE debut? And he goes, it's been a while. I've been grinding to get here, Kevin. I'm one of many people who's been, you know, fighting their whole lives to get to WWE. Me and my dad used to watch WWE together when I was younger. And then when my dad passed away, I made it my mission to get here. And, Daddy, I made it. I hope you're proud of me. He sort of like points up to the sky like at his dead dad. When out comes Christian. and Christian, of course, he takes the mic. And he goes, Kevin, could you do me a favor, you know, getting the mic out of that idiot's face. Nobody cares what that loser has to say. Nobody even remembers his name, because he ain't gonna be here next week, because he's not good enough to make it to WWE. I know what you're saying, Christian, you know, he's made it to Raw right now, but he's made it to Raw as a favor to an old friend of mine. And if your daddy's looking down at you proud of this appearance, then you're as big of a loser as I thought you were, because your dad, he don't care that you're here on Raw right now, Romeo. And you know why? Because he's dead. And soon, you're going to be joining your father. But hey, I'm sure your dad, he may not be as good of a dad because he bailed out on you early on in your life, but hey, he must be better than Rey Mysterio, am I right? I know that's not setting the bar too high, but young man, allow me to teach you a very important lesson, one that your father clearly didn't teach you. Life's not fair. This isn't your fairy tale WWE debut you always wanted. This is our moment. Dijak beats him, you know, short order. Feast or Rise in 3 minutes 20. 53 rated match. Dijak gets a 69, a 28 for Romeo. And yet, Christian, you know, teaching this young man the hard lesson that life isn't fair. And of course, that his father is no longer amongst us. And after the match, he like clears the announce table out and he goes, tells Dijak to like choke slam him through the table. Which he does because, you know, this is a local talent. And nobody cares about him, including his dead father. But then Rey Mysterio and Carlito do rush out and they brawl with Dijak and Christian. And then Rey he gets Christian down the ropes. He goes to deliver a 619. Dijak cuts him off with a big boot. Carlito flies in, backstabber to Dijak. Dijak rolls out of the ring, and then Rey goes to again deliver the 619 on Christian, but Dijak pulls him out ringside as well. So yeah, building up towards Rey and Christian still. And finally, Christian has insulted a dead father on television. We then get something a little bit different. We take to like a port, like where all the boats are. And Kyrie's out there, you know, she's playing around with her boat or whatever. And she's getting ready to, you know, set sail ahead of Unforgiven. And we hear a voice. And Roxy goes, "Excuse me," she says, "is there room to come on board? Like, I want to chat." And then, like, they set sail. Roxy and Kyrie set sail together. And they just sit on the boat and just chat. And they're like, you know, last week I may have been in over my head, you know, trying to fight off both Shayna and Carmella. And in reality, I didn't really deserve you to come to my aid. You had no reason to come to my aid. But I do appreciate it. So putting my title on the line against you at Unforgiven, you know, you're also somebody I've always wanted to face since I came here to WWE. It's the least I could do. And Kyrie goes, "I came to your aid because I want that championship. I don't want to beat Shayna or Carmella for that championship. I've heard so much about the Prodigy. And as somebody who was once considered one of the best in the world, I want to see if you've got what it takes. Roxy goes, well, we'll see. You won't be unforgiven, you know. Me and you, title on the line. May the best woman win. And Kyrie goes, ahoy. And then they just sail off into the distance. You know, just a respectful chat amongst two respectable women about their upcoming match at Unforgiven. We then cut back. Otis, he's there, chilling with Max. Who the fuck is this Maxine? Tonya Breeze. That is her name. Okay. We have Tonya. And she goes, oh, you made the right choice, Otis, to leave in that bum. He's a self-admitted simp. Okay, you don't want to hang around people like that. Like, they're losers. Okay, you're a big time. You're a big time male model or a big time stud. And that's why next week, all the eyes in the world are going to be on you. Because I've spoken to Batista, I've spoken to Boogs, and next week's Raw is going to be the Otis show. It's going to be what launches you back towards the WWE Championship. You know, you haven't thought about that championship in so long, have you? Because you've been hanging around with losers like Brooks and that Mackie. But next week, everyone will remember the name Otis. 84. Bayley and Mackie have a banger. So when I made this match, I looked at the match history because I know JFL have been on Raw for like fucking ever, and Bayley was on SmackDown pretty much for the entire series so far. But I remember they did have a match back at One Night Stand like 3 years ago, and that match got a 60. I remember doing a dusty finish in it because I teased that Mackie won the SmackDown Women's title. So yeah, they've come a long way since then. Now they're going 85s and 82s. Bayley apparently still has a connection with the young female demographic. But it is Bayley who wins in 13:43 for Rose Plant, 85 for Bayley, 82 for Mackie, 84 for the match. Yeah, glad I just did that match now then. Pretty good. We then cut backstage. Kathy Kelly's with Charlotte, Ariana and Ava. Because Charlotte, in tonight's main event, you have the opportunity once again. She goes, I'll cut you off, Kathy. Once again, the main event, it's time for me, the queen, to be back where I belong. Okay? Let's be real. The women's championships in this company don't mean anything if I'm not holding them. Okay, Sasha, she's walking around with that championship that she won from me. And then I'm yet to even get my one-on-one rematch. Okay, we had a Kyrie at SummerSlam. Like, what was that about, Kathy, huh? But fear not, because tonight, once I show the world that Rhea Ripley's all talk, all hype, and not all that, and she can't hold a candle to me, then I'll go over to Unforgiven, and I'm going to get my championship back from Sasha. Then she turns to Ariana and Ava, and she goes, girls, I appreciate you both, but tonight, wait here. I need to do this by myself. Because people seem to have forgotten who the hell I am. And I'm going to show them tonight. We then see Cody, AJ, and Finn backstage. And Cody goes, well, you know, I got my wish. You know, I got my chance to get my championship back against Drew McIntyre. It's not quite under the circumstances I wanted because you two are now also in the match. Now, of course, having you two by my side this whole time is sort of... It's been a lingering thought in my mind that these are two world champion caliber athletes. And that if we were to ever cross paths in a championship match, it'd be one hell of a fight. And with us three and Drew McIntyre in there, it's going to be one hell of a fight. And it's not going to be easy for me. But I can promise you this. Both of you. He throws up a 2 sweet and he goes, may the best man win at Unforgiven. And they both throw 2 sweets up and they all 2 sweet each other and then sort of walk off. You had to go address, you know, like Cody's obviously gonna... They all want the title. So, who's gonna get it? Who knows? I'll have to find out at Unforgiven. Speaking of new champions, we come to the ring. Imperium walk out, Gunter and the new Raw Tag Team Champions, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. And it's like, you know, they did the Gunter celebration in real life where he was on like the podium. It's that, but Vinci and Kaiser are on the podium and Gunter's on the floor. Except, like, imagine the podium is, like, 3-tiered. Yeah, it's like a gold, silver, bronze podium. But, you know, instead of a 2 and a 3, they're both level, but there's still one in the middle that's above. That's the empty bit with Vinci and Kaiser on the two sides. And then Gunther stood in front of it. And he goes, last week, the dawn of a new era here on Monday Night Raw began. When these men, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, captured the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now this is only the beginning. Because as you see, there's still one important component missing here in Imperium. And that is me, the Ring General, becoming WWE Champion. Now, I've beaten Drew McIntyre before. I became World Heavyweight Champion before against Drew McIntyre. So if I've got to beat him, so be it. Or maybe it's Finn Balor or AJ Styles. And we've already proven we could beat them. Or maybe it's the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Whoever it is, when I finally get my shot, all of Imperium will reign as champion here on Raw. New Day come out, and Woods goes, listen to this, Kof, you know, this guy here, you know, Gunther, the Ring General. He's yapping about becoming WWE Champion. But who is going to be the next WWE Champion? Who? Your boy, Xavier Woods. Now, you see, you're saying that the prophecy of Imperium all becoming champions, it gets fulfilled once you become WWE Champion. Your two little cronies are the Tag Team Champions. I say our prophecy of the New Day becomes Phil. Once Kofi's been WWE Champion, he's been World Champion. And I've been World Champion. So, I may not look like much, but if you want to become WWE Champion, you've got to go through me. And Kurt just laughs. He goes, you? Seriously? Okay, I'll tell you what, Woods. How about, if you're really a man, you face me, the Ring General, at Unforgiven, and we'll see who's really World Champion amongst us. But for now, your two boys, they've got to win the shot to lose to Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser at Unforgiven. Gargano and Ciampa then come out. And, you know, we get that match, DIY against Big E and Kofi of the New Day. And that match gets a 92. I knew it would be good. But yes, there we go at 92. And it is the New Day who win. Big E pins Johnny Gargano. Specifically, Big E pins Johnny Gargano. Midnight Hour. I imagine the finish actually would be Gargano goes for the one final beat over the top. And then Big E like catches him in midair. Like somehow turns him around in position for that big ending. And then hits the Midnight Hour from there. And then pins Johnny Gargano. And the New Day earned the shot at Ludwig and Giovanni Vinci for Unforgiven. 73 for Ciampa, 93 for Gargano, 85 for Big E, and 80 for Kofi. And there is, you know, post-match, the big brawl between the six men. And Xavier Woods leaping on them all to the outside, taking them all down, getting all fired up. He's dropped Gunther on the floor, you know. So you may look at him as the underdog in that match, but, you know, he's got that heart. Who knows what he could pull off. People look at it as a miracle if he's even going to look at the WWE Championship. So he's got to try to prove that he can hang on that level. And stepping up to the Ring General is one way to do it. Speaking of, next week, as we heard earlier on from Tonya Breeze, it is the Otis show. Whatever that means. We've got no other information about it, but Tonya is calling it the Otis show. That's all the information we've got about that. But we do know this big tag team match has now been made official. It will be Chad Gable teaming with the Intercontinental Champion Sheamus to take on Dominic Mysterio and Jorge Santana ahead of Sheamus and Dominic's Intercontinental Championship match at Unforgiven. And speaking of those guys and Unforgiven, we have now just had it made official that one-on-one action Chad Gable will face LA Extreme's Jorge Santana in singles action at Unforgiven. And on top of that, we also have another big singles match going down at Unforgiven. It will be the Ring General Gunther taking on Xavier Woods, which also ties into the Raw Tag Team Championship match of Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci defending the Raw Tag Team Championships, newly won Raw Tag Team Championships against Big E and Kofi Kingston, and of course, last but certainly not least, Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship is on the line as he defends in a 4-way against Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor at Unforgiven. 90. Okay. We take that. I didn't know how this was going to do. Because I didn't know about the psychology. But yeah, it still got dinged by psychology, but I don't know, 90's fine. Sasha Banks was on commentary here. It also does say at the downstairs, Sasha Banks are pretty weak, but oh well, I need her out there, for the story. And in this match, they fight. They basically, not the full-on Mania main event, because, it's Raw. But they do the Mania match, the fucking hard-hitting shit. They brawl. And in the end, the winner, the woman coming out on top, is Rhea Ripley. She pinned Charlotte in 12:30 with a riptide to punch her ticket to Unforgiven to face Sasha Banks for the WWE Women's Championship. Sasha's on the announce desk. She stands up. She's like mouthing off at Rhea off mic. And then after the match, Rhea gets in her face, towering down at her. And Charlotte attacks Rhea from behind, but Rhea doesn't move, doesn't budge. She turns around. She also drops Charlotte. She lays Charlotte out around ringside, clears the announce table, and then she slams Charlotte through the announce table with her riptide. Charlotte's not moving, and Sasha stood right there. It's feet away from it. And Rhea just laughs, looks down and goes, "Remember this? Remember when I did this to you? Huh? Good luck at Unforgiven." And then Rhea walks off as the doctors and shit, check on Charlotte. Sasha just sort of looks on. She is kind of concerned, but also Charlotte's a bit of a bitch, so it's not that concerning. But yeah, Charlotte's been left laying. You don't normally see her in this sort of predicament. As she gets help to the back. Maybe even stretch a job. 93 rated show. I'll take that. Pretty good matches on the show, as well as a lot of, story beats moving towards Unforgiven. Setting up what I think is a fairly shortly built, but also pretty fun card for that pay-per-view. But, speaking of shortly built, but pretty fun, we've got the Mae Young Classic. The B-Block second round matches taking place on Heat on the other side of this. Heat kicks off with this week's 70 rated Becky match. She beats Billie Kay, 554 with a manhandle slam. 86 for Becky, 60 for Billie Kay. Yeah, I guess Billie Kay is the next up. But there's a bit of a difference in attitude for Becky tonight. She had a real chip on her shoulder the last 2 weeks, but this Becky seems sort of more accepting of what's going on here and more open to wrestling Billie Kay. So what's happening here? Becky's, I guess, accepted her spot as the Heat enhancement woman. We then kick off the first of the Mae Young Classic B-Block matches tonight. Hannah Coleman against Saya Kamatani. And in 12 minutes and 2 seconds, Hannah Coleman picks up her first win of the tournament. She beats Saya with a sit-out facebuster. 60 for Hannah, 34 for Saya. They don't seem to click, but 56 for a Mae Young Classic match is still pretty good. I believe the bunny, Hannah Coleman, whatever you want to call her, is the most popular person in this tournament, so all her matches will be rated higher because they care about her, apparently. But again, with this being 7 weeks long, hopefully eventually they care about more than one person, and some of these matches can get better the further we go along. Also likely also care about Jade and maybe Sarah Amato. Yeah, but only a handful of people they care about. For example, neither of these two. Anya Bogmalov and Erin Angel go 7:43, and it is Anya Bogmalov who picks up the win. She gets a 45 and a 44 for Erin Angel. I think that's her first win of the tournament as well, because, she lost last week to Zoe Stark, I believe, who was in the main event tonight against Mayu Iwatani. I thought that was a match. I forgot. I thought that was a match. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? But no, it's not a match. Instead, it's Alicia Sanford catching up with Becky Lynch backstage. And she goes, Becky, another win here tonight on Heat. She goes, you know what, Alicia? This is the first time we've met. You don't normally see people like me on this show. And she goes, no, I'm kind of starstruck right now, actually. She goes, yeah, well, and how do you think the women I come here to wrestle feel, Getting the opportunity to wrestle me, I saw being forced to work from the bottom to the top by Batista as a demotion. And he saw it as a demotion for me as well. But I've sort of accepted now that I am that good, and I am good enough to get myself to the top. So why not enjoy my time here on Heat? I'm wrestling a bunch of girls. I don't normally get the chance to wrestle. I'm helping this whole division grow by being on this show, Alicia. Whether it be B-Fab last week, Billy Kay this week, whoever's next week, whoever's next to come take a swing at the man. Your moment in the big time. It just helps everybody involved here. So, I'm still got a chip on my shoulder because I know I'm still the best. But the cream always rises to the top, they say, Alicia. And I did it once before when I was the bottom of the barrel. I can do it again now I know I'm the top. We then cut from that to the next. Apparently they care about one of these. It must be Fabi Apache. Her against Sol Ruca. Goes 9 minutes and 8 seconds. It is Fabi who picks up the win. I believe her first of the tournament as well. Beating Sol Ruca with the Michinoku Driver 2. 46 for Fabi Apache, 40 for Sol Ruca. Then our main event only gets a 38 because they don't care about either of these women. But I thought this would be the best match. Ignoring the they don't care about these people rating. Zoe Stark against Mayu Iwatani. Mayu picks up another win. Pinning Zoe with a frog splash in 15-17. 54 for Mayu, 38 for Zoe. Which ends Heat with a 48. Who really cares? It's Heat. Becky's doing a lot of carrying for this show. And she seems to have sort of accepted her role as the gatekeeper. When I had the idea of this Becky story, it was before she was in the NXT. She was the NXT champion in real life, but now the angle that she's taking with that NXT belt in real life, where she's challenging all of the lesser experienced women who don't really get the shots. I'm sort of going to intertwine that sort of angle and arc into this story now because that's true. When was she ever wrestled Billy Kay? So yeah. But what matters more is what you thought of the show, mainly of Raw. And I'll see you next time for ECW, which will feature Jey Uso taking on Warden, as well as the return of the Tribal Chief, the extreme face of ECW, Roman Reigns. See you then.